Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic. You're here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be showing you where the Xur, his inventory, all his random rolls, my recommendation for February 28th, 2020. Almost the very last day of February, if you did not know, leap year. So we actually have a 29th this year. Hey, yeah, way. Anyways, you can find the Xur in his regular location in the tower. So just spawn here in the courtyard, make your way to the hangar, and in the top left section of the hangar behind Halal, the dead orbit guy who will never have a faction rally ever again. You can find these right here in these little scaffoldings. If you did not know, that's what they said in the most recent director's cut. There's going to be no more faction rallies. And also, if you notice that my character here is a bit blinged out with some full pure gold, that's because there's going to be a video very soon, should be tomorrow actually, new series that I wanted to start out. So make sure you stay tuned for that because it's going to be a very near and dear to my heart kind of series. So I hope you guys do enjoy, but because it does cost $500,000 every time I get shot by a bullet, so obviously very expensive video to make. Moving on, let's go and talk about the gear and all that whatnot. This is a high overview of everything that he does have available in case this is all you care about. Starting up with the weapon, we have the Sunshot, which is a very special hand cannon that has to do with explosions, and more explosions. The Sunburn perk. This weapon fires explosive rounds and highlights targets that take damage from the Sunshot. The highlighting target, something that I always forget that it does, which is something nice to have. After that, Sunblast. Targets killed by the Sunshot explode in solar energy. Now this is not headshots, so it's a dragonfly, but on steroids. So it's anytime you kill enemies with it. So it's explosions from explosive ammo, and it's explosions from the dragonfly-like thing without headshots. So it's a lot of fun, and it does in fact have a catalyst, which I think actually makes those explosions a little bit better as well. Personally, I think this is a really good weapon. I do think that many people have forgotten. Also, the ornaments just look absolutely sick. I do think that many people have forgotten about this because it is a base game weapon. It did get buffed after year 2, but it's one of those weapons that's really good, but in PvE, you usually want to have either Izanagi's or an exotic heavy, and in PvP, it's one of those things that's hit or miss for a lot of different people. But it is an excellent weapon, and I highly recommend you use it if you haven't used it in a while or you've never used it at all. And also, if you haven't used it in a long time, they have made a bunch of changes to it. First of all, the magazine is 12. They've also made the reload speed better than it was. So the biggest problems with it, the lack of magazine and the lack of reload speed, has been fixed. So it's a lot better than it used to be. Next up for the Titan exotic, we have the Doon Marchers. Basically one of these sprint boots for the Titans. The linear actuator's main perk increases the sprint speed, and sprinting builds up a static charge, and after melee attacking an enemy, that charge will chain damage to nearby enemies. So it's kind of like you get a little bit of a melee bonus, kind of like Insurmountable Scope, and you get a little bit of a sprint bonus, kind of like Lion Rampant, but neither one of them are better than either one of those things. So if you want a melee-based build, you might as well go for Insurmountable Scope or one of the other ones, and if you want a sprint-based build, you might as well go for Lion Rampant. That's just the way it is. And I have done many tests. The Doon Marcher is, over the long run, slower than the Lion Rampant. However, I would say it does have an ornament that makes it look a little bit shinier. You can see that there's a bit more lights on it, and that's very good to see. As far as the role goes, a primary in mobility, secondary in strength is a perfect synergy with his exotic. That is exactly what you'd want on this particular exotic, so I would say a good synergy above average role for a kind of averaging exotic. Next up for the Warlock exotic, we have Eye of Another World, one of the base game exotics that you can actually get through the Red War campaign as a guaranteed drop if you want it. Its main perk, Cerebral Uplink, highlights priority targets and improves the regeneration speed of your grenade, melee, and rift abilities. Now, from my memory, this regeneration speed is like 3%. It's really not that much at all, and the people who used to use it were the kind of people that are like, hey, these regenerations are stuff that I want, but they never really realized that it was really poor regeneration. You might as well go with something a little bit different that gives you regeneration, like Crown of Tempests gives you a lot better regeneration, but it is specific to a specific subclass. I believe it does have, yeah, it does have an ornament that you actually got from faction rallies. Funny enough, I did not actually plan that. And I do think you can get it randomly throughout the wild now from something else. I forgot where it was. As far as the role goes, primary and recovery, always good to have. Secondary in discipline and strength is a good synergy with his exotic, so I would say probably an excellent role for, in my opinion, a below average exotic. And finally, we have the Aon Swift, which is gonna be the hunter version of the Aon series, where if you have nearby allies who also have one of the Aon exotics, and there's one for every single class, you get certain bonuses to your certain energies. Grenade for Warlock, Melee for Titan, and Dodge for Hunters. This exotic sucks, because the generation that you get for this is just not enough, and because nobody uses it, and you never have an opportunity to use it. Personally, I think it's a cool looking exotic. You know, you have little brass knuckles things over here, you have like a nice little muscular frame on it, but it's not very good. As far as the role goes, primary mobility, not really that useful. However, it is a dodge-based thing for hunters, so I guess it's kind of a synergy. Secondary and recovery is also nice to have, and generally, I guess, makes sense with the dodge kind of thing. So it's a decent synergy for one of the worst exotics in the game. I would say second worst exotic in the entire game. Second only to the Eternal Warrior. And that's it for the Zerf, February 28, 2020. Make sure you're picking up your 5 of Swords for higher scoring Nightfalls if you want to go for those high scoring Nightfall Triumphs or whatever. Also, make sure you're picking up your Invitation of the Nine to get some powerful gear as well as some lore. And finally, an exotic engram. Any exotic engram, including this one, will guarantee you an exotic that you do not have from any of the world drops. Oh my god, I have 7,000 legendary shards. I am actually stocking up on. But that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, concerns, or if you just like the color gold. Let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, that's it. My name is Dychronic, and I will see you guys on the next one.